welcome back to another video with the Transfer Portal CFB presented by NoContextCFB. We're talking trade here. We'll be predicting trades in the 2022 NFL Draft, the first round to be exact, one trade each. We've got aspiring draft analyst Andrew Wilson with us today, and I'll let him talk a little and talk about his trade prediction.
Let's start off with the most important position in all of sports. No question about it, quarterback position in football. A lot of teams are going to be looking for a quarterback this year, whether it's, we want one of these top guys picking top 10, 15, or maybe we want one of these round 2, 3 guys that may not start right away, but we think we can turn them into a consistent NFL starter. I'm going to talk about a team who just lost their franchise quarterback. He was their franchise quarterback for pretty much my entire lifetime. Ben Roethlisberger is no longer playing football. Kind of weird to say since I'm 19 and as long as I can remember, he's been wearing the black and gold. But now they need to move on. They need to find their next guy. And I don't think that their guy that they're thinking of is going to be available at 20. So I'm going to project them to move up with a team that could very easily trade down. There's still so much talent at 20, especially at their positional needs, which include wide receiver and corner. The New York Football Jets are going to move down 10 spots to 20. So the compensation for this is going to be Pittsburgh's obviously going to receive 10, and the New York Jets are going to receive 20, 84, a 2023 second, and a 2023 sixth. So they're going to receive 4 picks for moving back 10 spots, or I guess 3 additional, plus the pick that you get for moving back. I didn't want to give up this year's second because I think that pick is completely off the board. I think Pittsburgh's going to be like, nope, you're not getting this. Nope, you're not touching it. Because they only have 6 picks in this year's draft. They don't want to give up another high-value pick this year. I think next year you're looking a little bit more lenient with their picks. But I think next year you're looking a second rounder that's still going to be very good. And 2023 sixth, maybe you strike gold with that one. But Pittsburgh's going to move up. I think that at this point, the quarterback most likely to be at 10 would be Malik Willis. I think that Carolina is going for Pickett at this point. Obviously, things can change over the next few months, but from what everybody has said and what everything that has gone down, Carolina obviously not happy with the quarterback play. Kenny Pickett was the second best quarterback, the most consistent quarterback in college this year. And you get that kind of veteran leadership out of a rookie because he was in college for so long. So maybe they like that. But I think Malik Willis is really going to be Pittsburgh's guy. I think that it kind of changes that offensive scheme that you've seen for so long. Obviously, Big Ben's a pocket passer, and then with Malik Willis, you completely flip the script. You get a guy who can, throw the ball downfield. He can make plays with his legs and his arm, creating time for his receivers and make runs going downfield, something Big Ben definitely could not do later in his career. So I think that really works out for Pittsburgh. They get their guy. Yes, they give up a decent amount of capital, but I think in this day's NFL, you have to give up enough capital if there's a guy that you truly believe in the draft. And then for the Jets, moving back down to 20, I think that you got to look at who's the top receiver on the board and who's the top corner on the board. There's a chance Trent McDuffie maybe slips to 20. If he's there, I think the Jets snap him up right away. And then you look in the third round, second round for a wide receiver. Second round, third round, those are the maybe Jalen Tolberts, the Khalil Shakirs, the Christian Watsons of the world, who very talented receivers. That would be a heck of a haul for them. But if they go receiver at 20, like say Garrett Wilson slips, maybe Treylon Burks slips, maybe they really like London or J-Mo, Olave. They have whatever they want at 20 for receiver mainly. And then corner, later rounds you're looking maybe Alontae Taylor, maybe you just wait on corner until later rounds, and then you get a guy like Joshua Williams from Fayetteville State. I know a guy that Liam and I have talked up a lot. The Jets really, they get a lot more capital, they get more potential, and then Pittsburgh gets their guy moving forward for hopefully the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, with the Jets, just speaking to that, you move down 10 spots, you get 20. And then you still have picks 35 and 38, stack another second rounder on top of that, accumulating so much draft capital for their future, the charge that they want to make to being a contender in the AFC East, right? Before, trying to be a legit playoff team. But I think that's a really good base for the Jets to build off of. Getting McDuffie at 20 and getting some other capital would be very good for them. Would be interested to see who they take at 35 and 38. Maybe they attack one of those receivers you had mentioned. And then, the Steelers got to do it. If you're going to take a quarterback, if you're infatuated with Malik, you have to pay up. You have to send good capital, and you have to go make a play to get them. So I think that's a good, fair trade both ways, and I hope to see that happen in a few months.
Yeah, I think it's really a good move for both sides. Jets can load up that roster that, I don't think it's unfair to say desperately needs more talent. And then Pittsburgh gets their guy. Hopefully they don't lose much of a step. Hopefully it keeps them in this, fringe playoff team competition. And then, a few years down the line when Malik is a little bit more developed, he's more, in the scheme that's built for him, not with him. And Pittsburgh's looking like a contender in the AFC that has so much quarterback talent. And they have the defense. Maybe they, make a play for another weapon with Juju most likely hitting free agency. Najee Harris is still young. As long as they attack that offensive line as well, I think this would be an amazing move for Pittsburgh. And as I already said, Jets just desperately need talent. So whatever they can do to get that would be very helpful for them.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a really good move for both teams. Here's the trade I'm going with. A reminder, free agency hasn't happened yet. So for both these trades, we don't know what these teams addressed in free agency yet. And I'm looking at two teams who haven't traded with each other since the 90s. They almost made a deal in 2017 involving star quarterback A.J. McCarron. This time they actually get a deal done. It's the Bengals moving up from 31 to go up to pick 13 with the Cleveland Browns. I know, bitter rivals, hate each other, haven't made a trade in forever. Look, the Bengals were how close to a Super Bowl? An improbable Super Bowl. They were, you could say, a decent offensive line away from actually doing it. In this hypothetical, Charles Cross falls to 13. He's available there. The Browns are in a bit of an uncomfortable spot. Not sure where to go, what to attack. There's a lot of talent on the board that could fall, so they're going to move back 18 spots. The compensation for doing so, they're getting pick 31, of course, but they're also getting a 23 first rounder. Look, again, bitter rivals, division rivals, hate each other. Just bank on being better than the Bengals. Bank on the Bengals regressing, and that pick becomes pretty dang enticing and attractive in a loaded 2023 class. Having two first rounders in that class is a no-brainer for me. The Bengals would have to trade. Why am I tripping? The Bengals would be. Why am I tripping over words? Sorry. Blah, blah. Okay. So the Browns would be receiving 31 in that 21st. The Bengals would be receiving pick 13, pick 78, and a 23 fourth rounder. I think it's pretty balanced both ways. Both teams are getting, good bang for their buck, you could say. The Bengals move up to secure Charles Cross, address the offensive line, protect Joe Burrow. And then I would be looking for the Browns to just sit back on talent at 31 or even trade up a few spots in case they want to secure a guy like Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, receivers that you mentioned. Maybe Jermaine Johnson the second goes in that range and doesn't go in the top 15, 20 as people are thinking after the Senior Bowl. So I think that's the trade I'll go with. What are your thoughts?
I like the compensation. Only thing I'm going to say is I don't think Cross falls to 13, and I don't think Jermaine Johnson falls to 31. But otherwise, I think Penning at 13 would still be very good. And I think, 31 edge rushers, Boye Mafe from Minnesota, especially after this is filmed before the combine. I already know he's going to have probably the best combine out of all the edge rushers. I think he ends up not falling. I think he ends up rising into the first. I think he's a first rounder with his athleticism and his just ability to get to the quarterback, as we saw in Mobile. But yeah, I like the compensation. I think it's very good for the Browns. I think that, really, if they're going to stick with Baker for this year, which I think they're kind of trapped with, they need to kind of make everything a little easier for him, get better receivers, even though he can't really throw accurately to them. And then with Cincinnati, yeah, you already talked about it. Their offensive line sucks. Like, I mean, no offense, but they suck. They are awful. They are putrid. Like, I don't know how you let your star quarterback, Joe Shiesty, I'm not even going to try and do the little Burr thing, Joe Burrow, get sacked like 40 times in the playoffs. I wish that was an overstatement. It was probably like 35, 33, something in that range. They suck. Just get a full revamp of that offensive line. Please get them out of there. And I think this will be a very good start with Cross or Penning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I also think Cross goes in the top 10, but in this hypothetical, he's there at 13, maybe teams ahead then. We're, addressing another spot and another few great players in this class. And another thing with that Browns pick is, hey, if Baker doesn't take that step this next season, you've got 2 firsts in 2023. It's time to go find another quarterback. Maybe one of those firsts will help you go get the new future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. So I think this trade is fair both ways. I really like Andrew's trade as well. I think that's fair compensation both ways. I think both teams get really good value out of that trade. And yeah, I mean, hey, if you've got a trade that you want to predict, just let us know in the comments. Would really appreciate it if you like this video and or subscribe. You don't have to, but it would help us a lot. And I'll let Andrew close it up.
Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that stuff that everybody else tells you to do. Make sure you follow TPortalCFB. Follow our Twitters that are right next to our little name boards if you're watching on the YouTube. Just keep up with us. We're going to be releasing a lot of great draft content over the next few months, college football content, even over the summer when not much has happened. We're still going to be talking about it. Make sure you're with us and have a great day.